There we go. What's going on, everybody? Someone put in the chat, make sure you can hear me if you can. Can you hear my voice in the chat real quick? If so, or comment, or I guess wherever you're watching from, let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Why does this show? It looks like this broadcast was deleted on Facebook. Try creating a new broadcast or just remove the destination from the broadcast. Go live. Oh, what the hell? Okay, we need to get it to share. Okay, you can hear me. Fantastic. I need to share this real quick into the community group. Apparently, it was deleted from the community group for some reason. So let me go in there real quick and share this from the Facebook page into the community. Share now, public. Cool. We'll just share to everybody. And then I'll share from my page to the community somehow. Share to a group. There we go. Facebook mastermind community. Boom. Okay. I think I've distributed it everywhere that it needs to be distributed to. Thank you guys for joining me. This is going to be relatively quick and pretty efficient. I don't want it to be something that is super complex, because it shouldn't be complex. What we're going to cover today is our phone number statuses feature that we just launched, and how to, if you're an existing customer, how to use that feature with everything that you have now inside of your account, like your phone tags and everything else. How do we get those phone tags out and turn those phone tags into phone statuses, so that we can open up and diversify the way that we use phone tags, right? Because phone tags, we can use them for a lot of new things now, such as call attempts, or relative tagging, or anything else that we would like to do, because we're not relying upon those phone tags also being used as I don't know. Before, we used to assume that if it didn't have a phone tag, then it wasn't reached, right? That we never reached that phone number. And now, because we have phone statuses, we can assume if you don't have a phone status, then you've never reached the phone number. But you can use tags for a lot of other things. Like you could tag your phone numbers with the place that the phone number came from skip tracing. So if a phone number has two skip tracer tags, like skip tracing location A and skip tracing location B, you know that you spent that, that money twice for the same phone number from the same location, things like that, right? And there's a lot of things that we can do with tags now, because we're not utilizing those tags for questions like, did we reach the homeowner? What's, is it the correct number for the homeowner, and all those things, right? So there's a lot of really cool things that we can start gaining insight on moving forward. So with that being said, let's just get into it, because I do have a call right after this. And I'm going to share my screen here, and we are going to, I like your preemptive warning. Will you be open API for us integrating with people outside? I don't know. It's dangerous to allow people to build stuff for your product and then be able to educate use cases and all those other things. If there's a business user or things like that, and they want to be able to, build an API to pipe in data from their county or things like that, then yeah, maybe that's something that's possible. Speaking of APIs, we do support phone statuses through the API. I don't think Zapier is updated yet, but I know that you're inbound from Calltools or inbound from Ready Mode and all those things. The documentation has not been updated, I don't believe. However, you can add phone status inside your JSON to update back to REISift. Okay. So let me share my screen real quick. Go into REISift, and let's actually just look at what a phone status is. Pretty straightforward. A phone status is a status on a record. So we have a correct number status, we have a wrong number status. And let me just zoom my screen in just a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. Maybe one more out. You have a no answer status, a DNC status, a dead phone number status, and then your tags. We also updated it to where this 3 dots is always active now. So there's no hover, okay? So that it doesn't move anymore. So that when you edit it, you don't have to try to, move your mouse around. I'm just going to, none of these are accurate here. I just clicked these just to show you guys last night when I was on a live. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to explain really quick each of these statuses individually. So you have your correct number status, which is if you call this phone number and it's the correct number for the owner, right? If you got a confirmation that this phone number belongs to Edward, or if this phone number belongs to a relative of Edward, let's just say it belongs to a relative of Edward, then it would be a correct number for the homeowner because but you would maybe tag it with relative, right? So you'd have a correct number relative that you'd kick over. So you can tag relative but it is a correct number to reach Edward, okay? If it is actually Edward, you just tag it as correct number. If you call a phone number, let's say you call this number and it's the wrong number, meaning it's not Edward, then I'm going to tag it as wrong number. If, for example, I call the next number and it's the wrong number and they're like, leave me alone, don't ever call me again, add me to your do not call list, right? Then it's a DNC, but it's a wrong number DNC. And if you choose wrong number DNC, it will put it wrong and it'll put it as DNC. It's really important that we know that, whether it's a wrong number or correct number DNC, because let's just say, for example, it's a correct number DNC, meaning that this number is Edward and it's a correct number and they say, don't call me again. That means the status should probably be like not interested or something like that, correct? Like it should be something that, identifies and correlates with somebody who would say don't ever call me again. Because that means that we might follow up in a certain period of time, maybe, and give that person a break or whatever the scenario is. Okay. The no answer one is one that's come up as questions, and no answer is really preference to you. If we don't get somebody if we're manually dialing and somebody doesn't pick up the phone, yeah, maybe we'll choose no answer as our option here. So that when we go through our second attempts, any of the question marks, we recall that phone number and we'll leave it as no answer moving forward. That way in the future, we can do campaigns against just no answer statuses. However, if you're doing like bulk dialing, there's no way for you to know in a bulk dialer what no answer is to send back an update. So if you're doing bulk dialing, no answer is really the fact that there's no status at all, right? And so something to think about. It's there for however you want to use it. No, really, it truly is. The main ones that are really important is if it's a dead number, a wrong number, or a correct number, and DNC. You can always assume that if it's not tagged, it's a no answer, okay? Or it's a no contact. Okay. And so dead numbers are pretty straightforward, pretty obvious. If it goes beep, 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 and the phone number is disconnected or whatever, then you can mark it as a dead number. Really, really, really important to track this, right? Super important to track this. And it's super important that every conversation you have with a homeowner, when they respond back from a text message, like you got the wrong number, make sure you tag it as wrong number. It's really important because if not, guess what? You're going to pay to either send a text message to that person again, or you want to track this information. All of it's really important information. It looks like the broadcast Facebook automatically deletes all streams that don't go live within 10 minutes of the scheduled time. I did go live within 10 minutes. I actually went live early. Why is it angry? Okay, no big deal. Okay, so it's really important to make sure you're tagging these phone numbers because it is really important to be able to figure out who we're reaching or not reaching. And now that we switched over and we have phone statuses, what's really cool about this is that we'll really be able to build filters around this commonality. The problem with tags is some people were tagging correct pound signs. Some people were typing correct numbers. Some people would just type correct. There was no uniformity, right? And now that we have a status, we can filter by those statuses just like we filter by, property statuses. So for example, we can do underneath of, I don't know if I just type status here. Right, we can see phone status, right? So I can include properties that include correct homeowner DNCs, right? And right now I don't have any. Or I can include, they have the correct number only. And right now I don't have any. Or they include wrong numbers maybe. And right now I don't have any, it says. Maybe that's inaccurate, who knows? Because I'm pretty sure that that record does have wrong numbers. So we need to look into that. However, this right here, we'll be able to build filters around it, right? Like filters to say, hey, I want to see all records that have had, 7 call attempts, but they don't contain a correct number, right? Things like that, right? We'll be able to build some cool filters around it. So let's show you guys how to update this, right? So let me just go to I'm going to zero this one out real quick so that it's blank. And then go to my records page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one piece at a time. Okay, if I go to my tags page here and I go to phone tags, you'll notice I have a uniform correct number DNC or dead DNC wrong number, right? It's very uniform. And I have 1,753 properties that contain correct numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to base it off of these in order to export and update. And that's it. I'm going to export 4 different lists so I can upload and fix them. So I'm going to click on show properties under my correct numbers tag. And I'm going to select all of the properties that contain a correct number. I'm going to do manage and I'm going to do export. And I'm going to export. I'm going to deselect all phone statuses. If I want to export all phone numbers associated with these records right now, it would mean that I don't have anything selected at all. If I want to export only records with correct number status, then I would have to select status. If you choose no status, then it would only export everything with no status, which as of right now would be everything because I don't have any correct number statuses or any statuses created yet, right? However, right now, I just want to export only all correct numbers. Why? Because I know that if I'm exporting all only correct numbers, then if with a phone number tag with correct number, then I don't have to do as much cleanup on my CSV document, okay? So all I want to do is export correct numbers, whether it's any of these property or phone types, okay? So I'm going to click next, and I'm going to put this as correct number export. Okay, I'm going to go to my downloads page, and it's already almost finished. Almost finished. It's finished. I'm going to click download, and I created just a quick folder called formatting in my Google Drive. I'm just going to drag and drop that in there, and I am going to open that up. Open it up in Google Sheets. Okay, and I'm just going to delete everything else out except for the phone numbers here. So I'm going to go all the way to emails here. I must delete all that data out. Delete. And then I'm going to delete everything from here out. Over. Don't need any of that. All right, so now you'll see that I'm left with phone 1. All the correct numbers, right? Yeah, tags like these ones contain for some reason a correct number and a dead number. Okay, so that's weird. Who knows why that is? But that's okay. I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. This is an unknown, but also correct number. Okay, but the problem is that I need everything in one column. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete out my phone type. Okay. And then I'm going to take each of these columns and I'm going to select all the whole column, and I'm just going to remove the phone 2 and then copy it. And I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom and I'm going to paste it in here. And yeah, I realize there's a ton of spaces there, and that's okay. And I'm just going to make sure I look at what number that was. That was 1755. Okay. And maybe I create a color here just to identify that. All right. And now I'm going to go up and I'm going to choose I'm going to delete out phone 2 type. I don't really need that. I'm going to grab the tag column, copy that, and go all the way down to the bottom again to that color. and I'm going to paste it in right there on that right column and paste it there. Okay, that way it lines up for what's there. Okay, now I'm going to go down. I'm going to do the same exact thing with the phone 3 column. And this is kind of annoying, I'm not going to lie, because there's going to be a lot of blank spaces and stuff. But we're going to go down until we find where it's the very last one that doesn't contain a number. It's easy enough just to literally go down to the very bottom. If you'd like, you could also remove blank spaces if you want to shorten it up. But I'm just going to scroll up here until I see the very next one. A random red column. And it looks like it's probably about right here. Paste it there. And I'm going to take this and then turn it red. There could be a better way for this. I have no idea, to be honest with you. Oops, that should be there. And then turn this column red. There could be a better way. I'm just showing you the way that I'm doing it. Okay, grab my phone tags column, boom, copy it, and go down again to that next red line. Gotta find it. I should have looked at the number, but I didn't. It was like 3,700 something. There it is. Is that it? I don't know what that is. I'm just gonna set that column. I feel like it was lower than that. This is real time. So the same exact time frame that I'm taking to do it, it'll take you guys to do it. I don't know why it adds that extra random one there. Okay, that's it. 3,000. So right here. So we're gonna grab it here and we're gonna paste it there. Boom. Oh, because of the paste, I got it. So we just gotta make sure that that lines up right? So that we end up having cool, correct number, great. Correct numbers, great. All right. And so you're literally going to continue doing that all the way through. And so now I'm going to delete all the phone tags here, delete. And maybe I don't have any more moving forward. So I can just kind of look at from my phone 4 here, and I can kind of scroll down and I can see if these columns have any phone numbers, because there's a good chance they don't. Usually it's going to be the first, 3 or so phone numbers. Let me just look in the very back here. All right, cool. So really it was just my first 3 phone columns that had it. So I'm going to delete the rest of this out. Delete. So now I have my 2 columns. I'm going to turn this just phone 1 and then phone status. Okay. Now I have correct number and I have dead number. Who knows why some of those have the same one, but notice this is correct number and DNC. All right. So I'm going to just turn this into, there's a few different options that we can do with the correct DNC. One of them is I can do correct underscore DNC, or I can just do correct DNC. There's a bunch of combinations. All of the combinations will be posted underneath of the SIFT dojo, underneath of resources, and upload parameters, and then underneath the owners field, underneath of phones, and then it'll be not just tags, but you also have phone types. Okay, so you'll see or status. You'll see number, type, tags, and status, and all of the abilities, just like we show here, will be, or just like we show underneath of type, it'll show what you can have uploaded to update your phone number statuses. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to update it like this. I'm going to select that whole column, and then I'm going to copy correct number, then select the whole column, and I'm going to do, I believe it's under data, or is it under view? I got to find it real quick. Edit, under edit, and then find and replace. I'm going to find correct number and replace it just with correct. and click done. And it should go through and it should replace all those correct numbers with correct, theoretically speaking. I think it should, unless I did it wrong here. So let me just try and redo that because it seemed like it didn't work. Edit, find and replace, find correct number, and replace with correct. Oh, replace all. That's what I need to do. I just clicked done. I never clicked replace. Okay, so now that's replaced everything that's correct with just correct number. And now I'm going to do the same thing. This is a wrong number and correct. How is that possible, right? It's one or the other. Most likely, it's more correct than it is wrong. Who knows? So I'm just going to remove that. So I'm just going to scroll through and just look. It's not going to matter either way, because it can only be one or the other. Correct DNC. I'm just going to kind of scroll through. This one's correct and dead. Who really knows? I'm not going to care. I'm only going to care about the ones that are correct in DNC. Okay. Anything that's correct DNC, I definitely want to update as correct DNC. Anything that's correct dead, I don't really care about. So I want to make sure that I get rid of all the dead ones. I would rather us just reconfirm that when we do a follow-up in the future or whatever. So I'm going to select the whole column, and I'm just going to do edit or font view again, or edit, find and replace, and I'm going to do dead and replace it with nothing. Okay, and then replace, and then done. And so that's going to delete out all of those deads. Okay, so now we just should have correct DNC records in here and correct numbers. Perfect. All right. And now I'm going to take care of all the empty columns. I'm going to select all of these, the whole thing, and I'm going to do the create filter, and I'm going to filter by only blank columns. And then I'm just going to select that first column, scroll down to the very bottom, select it, and then just delete out all of those blank columns, and then undo my filter. And now I just have all phone numbers that are correct or DNC. Okay. And so now this is a wrong number and correct again. So let me just also delete out all wrong numbers. So I'm going to select all columns. Again, there could be a super easier way to do this. I'm just doing it with the way that I know everybody has access to. So I'm going to say find all wrong numbers and replace all. So there's two now that are blank. I'm also going to use the tool here that I've shown you guys before, the extension under Power Tools. I'm going to open that up because I want to get rid of the commas and separate it by a space. So we're going to find, I believe it's clear, no, text. Remove all leading and trailing spaces is good. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Remove entered character individually, so we can remove any spaces or commas. So let me just remove, let's remove all spaces or commas, periods. Let's do that. Remove each character individually. And then so I'm going to click remove. So that's going to get rid of all of those. And so now I'll just be left with stuff with like correct DNC or DNC correct and stuff like that. Looks like this one, it didn't catch that comma. So let's go ahead and copy that. Let's try to make sure that gets cleaned up a little bit. We can do it like this. We can do correct DNC, and we can replace it with correct DNC. There we go. So we'll just do it like that. We'll just see if there's any other, scenarios that plays a part in. It might be some DNC then correct. I believe we support this as well, DNC correct, but we don't want the comma in there. I think it needs to be an underscore, not a comma, if it's going to be anything. So we're going to select the whole column there. view or edit, find and replace, DNC comma correct, and we're going to turn it into correct DNC. Place all, done. Looking good, looking good. Correct DNC. Looking good. All right, all that looks pretty good. All right, so we're going to select all. Obviously, you know, the annoying part is when we have some that are correct or wrong and DNC, right? That's the variable that we're going to have to work around, but it's better to work around it. If you only got to do this once, and then moving forward, you're gonna be able to, you know, do it fine. I'm going to remove all commas with nothing, real quick, so that it clears it out. And now I'm left with a nice clean list. I need to take any of these ones that I'm just going to check for this scenario here for correct DNC being all together like that real quick, because we don't want that, I don't think. So we're going to do that. And we're just going to switch it with correct space DNC. Yes, there's only one time that happened. Okay, so now we should be good. Correct number, everything's correct, and everything's correct DNC. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Turning it all into one column, removing all the spaces, and just using find and replace, and just making sure that it's all swapped out. We'll make sure that we get this updated. I'm going to send this over to my team now to ask them to update that with the proper information. Can you please update this doc with the phone status parameters? Boom, sent that over to my team. Okay, so we'll get that updated for y'all. And now how do we get this uploaded? So we're going to do file, and we're going to do download, and then comma separated values. Okay, and then we are going to take, go back to REISift, we're going to do upload file, and then we're going to do update data, and there's going to be an option at the bottom called update phone statuses by phone numbers. And then you're going to do next. You're going to drag and drop that in there. Next. And you're going to map the phone status with phone status. I don't know why it says phone type is required. Wait, did I choose the wrong option? I did. Phone status by phone numbers. Okay. Now phone status is required. Next. Looks good. Finish upload. Activities page. And that should start working and updating all of those phone numbers, statuses to correct number now, not just wrong number, right? Or not just tags. Now you have the option to go ahead and remove any tags on those records right now. So if there's a tag on a record like this wrong number, and you want it to be tagged wrong number or status wrong number, not tagged, and you want to get rid of all your tags, you do the same exact thing that we just did. You get everything in the one column, except for you don't rename them, right? You just export them all, get everything in the one column, okay? And then once everything's in one column, you just re-upload it and then choose the remove tags, you know, from properties option on upload. And that's going to remove all those tags from those records. I don't think that you can delete from here. Like, I don't think we're allowing you to delete this tag and then delete all the numbers. Yeah, you have to remove them first. He just updated this, so now we have statuses. Status. So valid types is unknown, correct number, correct DNC, wrong DNC. Wait, I thought he said that we can do, does it still handle correct space DNC? Pretty sure he told me that we'd be able to handle correct space DNC. If not, we're going to have to update any of our correct space DNCs to correct underscore DNC. But we'll see what he says real quick. But it's there. It's the best way to do it for now. No answer, dead, so on. All right, let's see if we finished uploading here. Activity, upload, still processing. See breakdown, total records. All right, we'll let that continue real quick. Correct DNC and wrong DNC were added after our call. Okay. All right, so the one that I did should work as well. Let's filter by the phone tag correct number so that we can check the records and see. So you can see now correct number tag has a correct there. If I go next record, tag with correct number, but its status is also correct now. Again, tag with correct number, but its status is correct now. And so now all of those statuses are updated as correct number. And now what I could do if I wanted to remove all of those is I could come back here and I could say reopen this into Google Sheet. And just like I did, and I'll just kind of show you guys just if you want to clean it up, I can come in here and I can open this up and let's just delete all of these out real quick. All this information we don't need. And I'll just do the first column just to show you guys. So delete. And then I'm just going to delete all this other stuff. Doesn't matter. Delete. And we're just going to delete everything except for the first column here. Again, because I'm just going to show you guys. So since I exported all the phone tags, right, that contain correct number, and we cleaned everything up, and everything that's correct number should be it, I'm just going to take this now, and I'm just going to download it. Since it contains those phone tags, and I'm just going to go to REISift, update file, and update data. And then I'm going to remove phone tags by phone numbers and drag and drop that in there. And I'm going to map the phone. It's already auto mapped, but I'm going to make sure that that's mapped over phone tags and phone numbers. And it's going to remove that correct number tag and all those other tags on those phone numbers that we updated the status to. And so now that will complete the cycle, if you will, so that all of these, 1,804 properties or phone numbers, really, that we just uploaded and updated the status for, they will now have the tags cleaned up as well, so that we can, if I filter by correct number tag, they're going to all disappear. So correct number is going to be deleted from it. And then I can go to my tags, phone tags, and I can always delete out, this tag then if I want, and I can start using other tags. Okay. So now that I did correct number, all I would do is I'd filter by the phone tag, let's say wrong number, and we can handle wrong number next. Click apply and literally repeat the process. Select all these records, go to manage, export them, make sure I deselect all of these, and I only want the wrong number phone numbers from all of these records. Okay. And yes, you could do this if you wanted to try to do it and export everything and just try to do everything all at once. I find it easier to just export one tag at a time that I want from those records, one phone number tag with one scenario at a time. That way I don't have to try to remember in the CSV and clean it up a certain way, and I can just delete out everything except what I need. So I want to include only correct wrong number with these phone types. Next, I'm going to say wrong number, export. Okay. And go to my downloads page. The upload is in queue. And while that downloads real quick, I'm going to answer a few questions. Will there be an update to Zapier so that we can send back phone sets? Yes, I mentioned that in the very beginning. Will you upload dead numbers that override correct, or will it be both? Here's the thing. If for whatever reason that was tagged with correct number and dead, I can't trust either one, because that can't happen where it's both, right? So I would rather assume that it's correct, because if it's correct number, that means there should be a follow-up associated with it, okay? And if it goes to call the correct number and it's no longer a good number, then they'll just mark it as dead then. Right now, it doesn't matter. Not at all. I think the binary meaning, it would change it, but I don't know. Okay, and then Mark says, if we change the tag in SIFT, does that make the blue check mark appear? Basically wondering if the tag in air. tags have nothing to do with statuses. Tags have nothing to do with statuses. Using tags inside of AirCall right now to tag the properties will not do anything to the status, which is why I'm sure Claudia was asking that question. Once we update and we add phone statuses to Zapier, then you'll be able to update the status through the AirCall tag like you're talking about. But right now, it's not possible, but it will be. It's an easy thing. The API for the API for that is already done. Okay, so now it's we export it. Let's go ahead and go back to our formatting, and we're going to put in, or let's go back to the download. Actually, correct number we're done with. I'm going to do wrong number real quick and show you guys wrong number, and then I think those two examples will be enough for you guys to kind of get rocking and rolling. Okay, so I'm going to bring wrong number into my little folder here. I'm going to upload it and open as Google Sheet. Okay, I'm going to delete out all the addresses and stuff because I don't need that. I just need the numbers. Now with wrong numbers, there's a higher chance a lot of these wrong numbers are going to also be, in part of like phone 6, 7, 8, and 9, because more often the lower you go, the more you have. But it depends on if you upload that many numbers. I really kind of focus on only 3 numbers, so I'm sure some are going to be, later on, and some are going to be early. I'm just going to show you guys, for the sake of this, you could make it easier for yourself, and you could literally just, so you don't have to do this crazy copy and pasting and trying to put everything in one column. You could just duplicate this like 10 times, you know what I mean? And then you could just select, and then in this column, I'm going to keep only phone 1s, right? And then delete. And then this one, I'm only going to keep phone 2s and delete, right? So that it might be easier and faster to do that. And then in this one, I'm only going to do phone, 3s, right? It might be faster to do it this way so that you don't have to do the copy and pasting and stuff. And then you're just going to kind of create a phone 1, a phone 2, and a phone 3 columns. We don't need phone type. And then I'm just going to turn all wrong numbers. We're going to go back to the upload parameters, look at status, look at what the valid types are, wrong and wrong DNC. So if for whatever reason we have some that are also wrong number and DNC, so let's scroll down and see if we have the case where that is the situation where it's tagged with both. This one's wrong number and correct number. I'm going to assume correct number, and I'm going to let it update accordingly. Doesn't look like we have any wrong DNC. So all I'm going to do is select here, and I'm going to do view or edit, find and replace. I'm going to do wrong number as wrong. It's wrong. And then do replace all. And I'm going to do correct number as correct. And so it'll update that one as well. And that looks good. We just need to remove this one wrong, because otherwise it would just change it to wrong and then change it to correct right away. Now I'm just going to remove all those commas, and we should be all set there. So we're just going to do comma and then replace all. Boom. All right, so now I can just, export and do the first row inside of all those records. And then maybe I'll do the second one, and I just do the same exact thing, right? Maybe there's some correct DNCs here. An easy way to do this too is just to kind of filter and again, delete out any of those blanks so that we can see things easier. Delete. Okay, and then unfilter. And now I can kind of look and see, do I have any wrong? Same situation with the whole correct number, wrong number thing. A lot of times you get correct number, wrong number tags like that. Here's one, wrong in DNC. Okay, so very, very easily, I'm going to select this whole column. I'm going to do edit, find and replace, wrong number. I'm going to turn into wrong. It's all. I'm going to do wrong, comma, DNC and turn into wrong DNC, or wrong underscore DNC is what we have shown here. Wrong underscore DNC. You can do either one, honestly, but we'll keep it in the docs as one so that it kind of keeps things uniform. Wrong, comma, DNC. Thought we had one. Oh, because it turned it into wrong. Okay, that makes sense. And replace wrong to wrong underscore DNC. Okay. And then we're going to take that correct number and we're just going to I'm just going to type it out correct. Okay. All right. So there's that. Everything looks good there. And now we're just going to do the whole removing all the commas out just because why not? Keep it nice and clean. Replace. Done. Okay. So now that one's done. And I can do this. Maybe this is like wrong numbers, phone 1, and maybe I name this wrong numbers, phone 2. I don't know. I think I actually like that better. I think that's actually phone 2. This is the source document. Yeah. So I think I like this better doing it this way instead of trying to take all of these and copy the column and then scroll down and paste it and stuff. I think I like the idea of just making them each one. That's like way easier. This would be wrong, phone 3. And so again, just doing the same thing, taking this, filtering, removing all blanks. So just do blanks. I don't actually need this column at all. Delete, select all of these, and then delete them out. Remove my filter, select everything here, edit, replace, wrong number with wrong. Replace all. There's probably now some wrong, comma, DNC, wrong underscore DNC, replace. There's none found. Spell wrong. I don't know why that wrong just looks like not right. Scroll down, see if we have any other things. We don't, so boom, that one's done. Easy enough, right? Then we move over. This would just be phone 4. Delete out everything before, delete out everything after. And I think really I probably ended at phone 4s. I probably don't have any more numbers after phone 4. Actually, I have some in phone 6 column. Yeah, but phone 6 is the last column I have data in. So I only have to go up to 6 on here. So to remove all those, delete my type. I don't need that. Select everything, filter, remove all my blanks, make it easier for me to be able to see, make sure I got everything. Boom, delete, unfilter. See that? Only wrong numbers. I'm just going to do this. Since everything's the same here, I'm just going to type wrong. And then I'm just going to grab it and just drop it down. Boom. Done. Okay. Moving on. Now I just need, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to come up here. I'm just going to grab 5, columns 5. I'm just going to create a new file and just paste them. Easy. Delete, select them all, filter by blanks, remove all blanks. This will be my last example, and then I'll go ahead and upload those ones and we'll remove those. Just want to make sure I just show you guys how quickly we can get it done. Again, wrong. Boom, bring it down. Boom, easy. Okay, so now we have, what is this? This was phone 4. Okay, and then this was 5. Okay. now all I got to do is export all these. So boom, download this as a CSV and download phone 2 as a CSV and just download all these as a CSV. Okay. And then go to my REISift account, update data, and then we're going to do update phones by phone numbers. Updating phone status by phone numbers. All right, next, grab one of the files here. Is that the right one? Yeah, phone 2. Next, we're gonna map, because I left it name tags and I didn't rename it status. We need to make sure we map that to status. Next, finish upload. Boom, done. Go back, upload, update data by phone numbers, phone type. Next, I'm going to grab the phone one. Next, make sure I move that to status. Next, done. Okay. Now in the activity, that's going to start enqueuing that, and it's going to start updating all those phone numbers into the proper phone status. Meanwhile, my phone tags could be gone. So there's 35 left under the properties there. Let's see, did the upload finish? Looks like we still have some phone numbers that are tagged that the properties couldn't be found. So you can see you can show properties there, and you could kind of try to look to see what's going on. Sometimes it can't find them all. You might have to redo it or something like that. It could be because of a scenario like this where it's wrong first or something. Who knows? But it'll get you a hell of a lot closer, right? Okay. And again, with the wrong numbers, to remove all the wrong number tags, you do the same exact thing. Select this column, and just do, phone 1 and these same exact tags, upload it, and use the remove tags from numbers. Okay. All right. Any questions that I can answer for you guys on this topic? If I will update a one-off correct number on a wrong number, why not export all numbers instead of Excel accordingly to update property phone status? Yeah, like I said, Kevin, in the very beginning, like you could update everything. You could export all of your records and just use find and replace and just choose all your phone columns from all of your records. Separate it maybe like phone 1 column of all my records, phone 2 column of all my records, phone 3 column of all my records, phone 4 column of all my records, and so on. And you could find and replace each of those and just swap out wrong with this and correct with this. And you can mix them all up. I just did it the way I did it just now, just to show those who can't think about that, right? And think of how to do that, listen, you could be as simple as just looking at your phone tags page, looking at the first tag, exporting that tag, and then updating it how it needs to be. But even in that wrong number, when I exported the wrong number or it was like wrong and correct, I chose correct. And so it'll still update it as the correct status, even though I'm uploading a wrong number file, because it's just, the way it works. So hopefully that answers your question there, Kevin. And for anyone else, yeah, you could definitely just do everything like this in bulk. Instead of having to separate everything, and you can just do your whole account in one fell swoop, right? I promise you, you might not see it right away, but phone status it's amazing, right? It's a really, really amazing feature to be able to really start streamlining, and now being able to have a status of a phone number as well as a tag on a phone number really opens up the horizon to the things that are coming inside of REISift, as well as your ability to then do some really awesome filters and stuff. And so I thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hopefully this helps you understand how to do it. For those that are, been users for a while and you're looking to try to get all your tags updated into statuses, I would then remove those tags from those phone numbers. That way you can start using tags for whatever you want, be it relatives, be it, a temp tagging or whatever. You can really build some pretty niche follow-ups using the status as X and the tag as Y to send only those numbers that are in certain situations, like to like leads that are the relative numbers only. Let's say you have a bunch of leads that you have confirmed relatives on because the seller is no longer answering. Maybe you do a campaign just filtering by records that are leads with the phone status as correct, with the phone tag as relative, right? That way you can do some follow-ups to try and reach out to relatives to figure out what's going on. Who knows, right? Did you mention other product updates, or did I miss that? In the thing, there's other product updates. I did want to show, just for anybody who is not aware, thanks for reminding me of that. But for anybody who's not aware, REISift, since the last time that I was live, we've also released custom statuses. So you can actually create custom property statuses as well. And you can turn off your default statuses if you'd like. And you can create only your custom statuses. Like I just got 2 in here, flipping in, phase 1, Sensei flow or whatever. You can also see what's really cool is you can rearrange these. If you want lead to be at the very top, it's almost like also a dashboard, because you can see how many properties are underneath of lead. And I messed up when we launched sequence statuses, and I turned off all of my default filters before we had this message. And I removed all statuses from all my properties. So kind of sucked. But that's why we have beta, and I'm going to have to revert my account from back then at some point. But nevertheless, it's kind of like its own little dashboard, because you can kind of like click to see, okay, let me see all those leads, So that's pretty cool. Some really cool stuff that you can do with custom statuses. Yeah, I know, Claudio. This notification is really important. Other than statuses, there's quite a few other things that we had that, might be some minor things that aren't really worth mentioning too much, but you can also edit sequences now. So if you go into your sequences, you can go to make changes, and you can update your sequences to be able to not have to make a new one. So that's really cool. So you got edit sequences, you got phone statuses, you have custom property statuses, and then you have still here, either this week or early next week, we'll be launching the filter by tasks. And we also have a filter coming. I don't think it's here yet, but last updated by, oh yeah, maybe it is. So you can see what was updated and from where soon. So you can see last updated by Tyler, and we can look at all those properties and see there's 10. And then I could see as far as what's been updated by, you can see last updated date. So you can do a range in the last, I don't know, 1 month or whatever. For a few months, what did I do that was updated the status, and I could see if I updated anything to the status lead. We also have coming with that, Anderson, our business plans can add up to 30 phone numbers sometime next week. That's launching, I believe. So business plans can add up to 30 phone numbers. The filtering by call today is not coming, but we do have by where, updated by where coming, and a few other things. There's an update coming to updated by, so that we can track a little bit more detailed information. But that's kind of cool, and stuff like that. Yeah, 30 phone numbers would be cool. I can't think of anyone needing more than 30, but if they do, we'll see how we handle that sooner or later. Phone numbers are a really heavy thing. I mean, you got millions and millions of phone numbers. If you got 500,000 records in your account, for example, and you have 10 phone numbers, that's 5 million, right? I believe 10 times 500,000, or that, yeah, it's 5 million. It's 5 million phone numbers, and every one of those phone numbers could have a status and like as many tags as it wants. And so phone number management is a really intense thing. To be able to do it the right way and still have the ability to search a phone number instantly inside your account is no small feat. And so we want to make sure that we add the ability to have phone numbers, but we don't sacrifice on speed of product at the same time. We don't want to break things by making things better, because that doesn't help anybody. So anyway, How much horsepower is needed on the back end, process all the searches and inquiries? A lot, man. I mean, we process like I think it's somewhere around 20 or 30 million records updated or new records rather on a monthly basis. So on a weekly basis, we process quite a few million updates on records. On a daily basis, we process over 1 million just daily on inbound responses and back and forth through our API to update status of phone numbers and update property statuses and all that stuff. So I mean, there's a lot of things happening. I mean, it's a very, very, very busy system. 24 hours a day because of VAs working at night and people marketing during the day and everything else. So our system is being hammered all the time. And so it's really important that we got to watch our performance when we release something like phone numbers and adding more data capability into accounts and stuff like that. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. I got to go apologize to Mike for blowing past our meeting for this, but I'm sure he won't mind. Thank you guys again. Hopefully you enjoy this feature. And if you do, awesome. I really appreciate it. If you don't, we'd love for you to reach out and just explain what you don't understand about the feature, how it can help you. And if you love REISift, don't forget, head over to Trustpilot and give us a review. Okay. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. See you later.